Now, I don't know a lot about this upcoming game Pepper Grinder, but from what I have seen, it has amazing art that is definitely in a style that I love. With very well done pixel art. As a pixel artist myself, I'm excited to see it, and it looks like a game that would have a lot of opportunities for some cool speed tech. So I cannot wait to hear what kind of treats we're in for. And I believe they are finishing up their tech check. All of our stuff is run by volunteers here at Speedromizer, so if you would like to help in a future event, we open volunteer signups before all of our events, and we would love to have you. They are announced in our Discord, speedromizer.live/discord. So keep an eye on the server if you're interested in helping run the show. Most roles do not require experience, so we'd be happy to have you even if it's your first time. I know it's my first marathon doing a hosting role, and I'm having a blast myself. And I've heard similar things from some of the other volunteers that I've already had a chance to work with, and they've all been lovely. Speaking of volunteering, you may recognize that we call it a sign-up and not an application. That's because if you, as a member of the community, want to offer your time to help us out, we will try as much as possible to let you be involved. We always love people helping us out. This is a marathon entirely about learning new things. That's the whole point of the randomized speedruns that you see here at Speedromizer. They're not randomized as in rando, but randomized as in you don't know what you're going to run. We have an inclusive process for volunteers, for anyone to be a part of the event, no matter their experience level. And that's why we call it a sign up, not an application.
For you, even when there's nothing, you always make up something. You know I try to pray for you, even when we're touching, you always make a fuss. Okay, I'm pushing. Don't test my patience. I'm trying to pace it. You kept me waiting. I try to pray.
Now you will see on our upcoming here that we do have a speed run that we should all take our time with, and that is sleep. Make sure to get plenty of sleep between the days. I know you don't want to miss any of the content, but sleep is good for you.
I try to pray for you. I try to pray for you.
Looking ahead to next weekend, I see that we have a Divinity Original Sin 2 speedrun. That should be amazing. How that game is beatable in the estimate of 20 minutes, I don't know. Should be very fun to watch. On the flip side, there is also a Mario Party speedrun. Mario Party taking an hour and a half is just as crazy to me as Divinity Original Sin only taking 20 minutes.
Pray for you.
Alright, I've been given the green light. We are ready for our next run. Our next runner's name is Boden, and they will be running the game Pepper Grinder. So take it away, Boden. I'm excited to see what you have in store.
I'm here to run a really cool game, and I'm here with the GOAT, actually.
It's brave of you to call third place a GOAT, but hi, I'm Trouble Claus. This game is a really cool technical 3D platformer, and it's an absolute joy to watch, so you're gonna get a nice late night before bed treat here. Yeah, Boden, you want to talk some about what this game is?
Alright. Yeah, this game is just a little like 2D platformer where you have a drill and you go through a bunch of dirt, and there's like, what even are they? Like narwhal enemies?
That's gnarlings, I think, is what they're called.
Oh, yeah,
they're evil and gross and weird.
Don't be mean about it.
Oh, don't be mean about it.
I mean, I think we can just start talking about it when I start the run, right?
Yeah, sounds good. You want a countdown from me?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're loading into the first stage here. Very simple. You'll see on the screen we have a big drill, and we can use that drill in order to dig through dirt. This is the base movement. You will be holding down the right trigger to drill through dirt all the time. The drill also kills enemies, and we also, when we drill through dirt, are able to dash through the dirt. Of course, it kind of turns into an Echo game, if you're familiar with the old Genesis series, where you kind of dive in and out of this dirt, out of the dirt in order to get through stages. It's a really satisfying game to play and watch, in my opinion, because oh my god, it is just so fun flowing through stages, especially. This first stage, nothing too bad. We're gonna have these gimmicks that we'll use our drill for all the time throughout stages, and that will help us activate stuff like elevators, like big weapons, big machines that we'll see later on throughout the run. You also notice some coins that we'll be collecting throughout the levels, but that will open some routing opportunities for us later. Quick little kill on the nest there. We're gonna hit the roof and then rev up our drill 3 times in order to get the key, and then we'll be on to level 2. Levels are pretty short in this game generally, so they're nice little bite-sized trips from the start to the end. As we start the second level here, we're gonna get into the biggest glitch in this run. It's really, really broken. Boden, if you wanna maybe explain it?
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up on a little section here where we're gonna do something very normal. I'm just gonna jump into this wall and then ground pound into the wall and hold up right after, and then you can just kind of chill in the air.
Yeah.
For as long as you want.
The exact reason this works is not super known. What we assume happens is that when you ground pound for the very first frame of the ground pound, if you interrupt that ground pound, you can then you are then counted as grounded, or as a friend of the Pepper Grinder community, Quacksilver, puts it, legally grounded, and that allows you to infinitely jump. And it's a really sick trick that gives us all sorts of options and really big skips in the game. For this stage, we skipped a huge drop down, and where we'd have to climb back up, kill some enemies, all sorts of stuff. So it's one of the bigger skips. It skips about 20 seconds, if I'm remembering correctly. But in most levels, especially this level, the Wellspring Canyon, is that what this level is? I can't remember the names of the levels.
The third one's Headstone Peak, I think.
Yeah, Headstone Peak. This level has way more micro skips than it does in than our last level did, where we'll be using Poppin'. The name of that trick is Poppin', by the way. It's complicated name history, I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit. But we're able to use Poppin' a lot more often for micro skips like that, where we get to skip some platforming or get to very easily climb up the stage some, but are often stopped by walls and ceilings and such. And so you'll see that a lot more often than big level skips. The game would be a kind of bad run if it was all just a bunch of big level skips, if you ask me, but yeah, it's not a super over-centralizing tech, which is very nice. We generally try to be careful with our health here, because at the end of this stage, we want to be able to damage the boost twice. Unfortunately, I imagine one of the goblins sniped us, and we took an extra point of damage there. So Boden was a little bit unlucky on some of the enemy cycles, but through the level nonetheless. Headstone Peak is definitely one of the hardest levels. This game loves to kill your runs everywhere. One of the places this run always dies is in this boss, the very first boss of the stage. As, you know, this is a very difficult and tricky skip, and we're done with the level. Good work, Boden.
Yeah, I didn't think I would pull that off in the run. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's our first boss fight skip. There are 2 boss fight skips in this game. You'll see the second one a little bit, 5 minutes, give or take. Yeah, I mean, that boss doesn't pose much of a challenge in our no pop-in category, because that does exist. Frankly, we have an insta-kill for him in that category as well, but, you know, pop-in makes it a little bit faster. Now we're into our lava world as usual. The first level here is Magma Works, and this has our first global cycle. These rotating platforms will dictate how fast you can go through the stage, and, you know, you have to be on a very good cycle for this part specifically. This goblin underneath us, or gnarling I guess is the proper word, can snipe you if you're a little bit too slow. Then we're gonna hop up this lava fall into the ending of the stage here. So you'll notice that Boden has been collecting these skull coins. These coins actually allow us to unlock extra levels, and those extra levels can be used to skip certain story progress. Specifically, at the very end of the run, throughout the run, we'll be wanting to collect 10 total skull coins, and at the end of the run, we'll be able to deposit those 10 in order to play save about a minute playing a level that is much shorter than the story progress wants, because it's kind of like Celeste, if you're familiar with how B-sides in that game work. The B-side will unlock the next level's A-side, that kind of deal. You'll notice here as well, Boden has been using these grapple hook points. These are a new movement mechanic, because this game loves just throwing new movement mechanics at us. These allow you to swing off of them kind of Spider-Man style, and they're really satisfying. This in specific is a pretty difficult trick, where you have to... I mean, honestly, not hitting it, totally fine, because it is a very precise angle you need to hold. These grapple hooks will send you at an angle depending on where you exit them, and also what angle you are holding when you exit them, and you have to use that in order to hit a skip that barely saves any time, but going for it makes you feel really cool when you hit it. This game does that very well. It just makes you feel super sick when you nail really tight movement strings. If you're a fan of doing that in games, let me tell you, this run is amazing for that. But yeah, this level is pretty straightforward for the most part, but it is certainly very fun to just swing through the level at Mach speed. Nice, hitting the coin at the end there during that drop down. That one can be pretty tricky. Thankfully, it's not too bad to back up if you miss it, but it is a tricky coin to grab without hitting the side of the wall to slow you down there. Now we're into Giant's Kitchen. This is my least favorite level, personally. What Boden's gonna try to do throughout this entire level is he's gonna try to pick up this gun while keeping a pop going throughout the end. About pops is that when you activate a pop, you can't touch the ground or you lose the pop. And we're going to try to keep the pop throughout most of the stage in order to get through it much faster. You'll see, you know, using the gun in that first half and then dropping it in order to go through the second half here. This allows us to skip a lot of the stage's hazards, and while it's not strictly faster than just walking on the ground, they're the same move speed, it is a lot safer, and that is the nice thing. Do you get the pumpkin coin? I forget. There are a lot of routes you can use.
No more
Okay,
pumpkin.
huge.
It's not Halloween anymore.
You know what? I don't like Halloween that much. I'll say it. So I'm happy for this development. There are a lot of different coin routes you can use that, you know, runners will pick and choose their favorites, and they barely change your time in the end of it. Nice little fight room at the end there. Those nests require 3 hits to kill. The drill does 1 entire health point, as opposed to the guns, which deal less. I don't know why a gun deals less damage than a drill. I guess it kind of makes sense if you think of it as like a rip and tear thing. But we just pop and rev up our drill constantly while we're attacking the nests there. Now we're into my second least favorite level, Rotoburr Pits. At least this one makes you feel cool. Rotoburr has these global cycles with these big saw blades, and they can be really tricky to try to navigate around. Additionally, it has these little shower spigots that will rain on the lava and turn it into obsidian, because that's how lava works, if I've learned anything from Minecraft, which I don't think I have, so, you know, good for me. And then we'll do a pop here, and this will allow us to actually collect a pretty fast coin here. Gonna get sniped by the goblin, so has to be a little bit careful with this saw blade in specific. But gonna come up on the end of the run, end of this level here. It'd be crazy if this was the last level of the game. Where, oh, very nice. So we actually have the ability to double jump. We've been hiding it this whole time. You do, because you're on 1 HP, but, and the cycle there was really tough. But, yeah, you can actually double jump in this game. Fun story about how that works. In this game, you're allowed to coyote jump, of course, but when you do a normal grounded jump, you're given a jump lockout timer, so you can't just use your coyote frames instantly. The jump lockout timer is exactly 1 frame too short, and so if you do a grounded jump, you can actually frame perfectly jump at the end of that lockout timer in order to double jump, and it's really funny. And while I was explaining that, goodbye, Magma Worm. You're spared for another day.
Love the Magma Worm.
It's nice that we don't really kill him in any category, because he is my favorite boss in the entire game. He's so cool. And we just go the pacifist route every time. And we're into the snow world. From lava to snow, I'm sure the ecology of these two things being right next to each other makes sense in some world, not on Earth, but, you know, this level
like Iceland.
These, yeah, it's kind of like Iceland, actually. I guess it does kind of make sense then. I hate Europeans knowing more about geography than me. This is messed up. The Ice World introduces these big cannons that allow us to launch across stages. Very fun and very simple. And, you know, combining them with these big grapple hooks especially is fun, because this game makes you feel like you're playing a Spider-Man game in 2D. It's really cool. Nice, very tight to grapple onto that cannon. But yeah, we do have some time for a message if you're wanting to hop in real fast. The end of this stage is pretty simple.
I just have a quick donation I wanted to sneak in if we had a moment. It's from Haxum, $10, saying let's go pepper grinder, and fish puns too, I guess.
Huge. Hello, Haxum. Thank you. Yeah, this game's really sick. Watching this game always, like, itches my brain a little bit and makes me remember just how fun this game was when I was running it a little bit. I say back like this game's old. This released last year. Relax. Not even last year, earlier this year. Time flies. But yeah, this game's really sick watching it. It's very fun. You didn't do the thing that made the music stand here, so I'm just gonna be silent for this ride. That's up to you, but you know.
Nah, I'm too far gone.
Yeah, there's so at the start of every stage, if you hold down the drill button, you actually do an intentional animation cancel. At the start of every stage, there's this animation where Pepper will grind up her chainsaw drill, and I guess they're kind of the same thing. And it's supposed to be a little nice flare, but, you know, for speedrunning purposes, that's not the fastest thing, and if you hold down the drill, you skip it. And when you skip the animation in the release version of this game, for some reason, the start of this stage doesn't have music. So, you know, Boden hates fun, I guess, is why he didn't do it. And totally not because he just forgot, because that's something you don't notice in runs. This is... What is the stage's name? I forgot. Riddle Glacier. I got there.
Yeah.
This stage introduces these big drill-powered bobsleighs that we're gonna use to get through some of the longer stretches of this level. Very fun, makes you feel very badass. We're gonna death abuse here because you get a checkpoint as soon as you cross that gap, and then the end of the stage is really tricky because if you make a wrong turn, you'll notice that the ice is cracking behind Boden as he goes through this section, so it's really hard to recover if you make a mistake. Thankfully, we have a pretty nice route, takes us right through the end of the stage there. Pretty tricky if you mess it up, but Boden's goated, so of course he didn't. 152 on that stage is ridiculously good.
Could have been better.
Don't say eh. Okay, it's ridiculously good for me. He's flexing on me. It's my fault. This stage is Sea of Teeth, and this is one of the few water-centric stages. Water in this game is really cool as well, because as you can see, Boden kind of skis across it, and you can do these huge jumps out of it if you time your jump press when you hit the water. It is so satisfying when you do it right. It actually makes you feel like a dolphin. And I don't know, this is my favorite level in the entire game. There's a lot you're not seeing, of course, because we have the pop, and so we just pop over quite a lot of the stage since going underwater is still slow. But when you go underwater, they have all sorts of cool effects, and you get to see the little shark friends that we're passing by here. They're so friendly. I've been hurt many times by them, but it's okay. Yeah, this stage is really fun, and, you know, it being trying to avoid the underwater stuff makes it to where a lot of this is just popping over stuff, but it's still fun nonetheless. Shout out to this tank guy. Thank you. And just walk to the end of the stage. Very nice. I love that stage. Next up is Breaker Pass. Breaker Pass is... it's one of those stages. So, yeah, we're gonna do a pop at the start here, and this stage introduces the gimmick of a rocket attachment. The game kind of plays with, like, sunshine-type beats where you get, like, drill attachments that you shoot into things and it like changes the run. We don't do most of it because popping over stuff is way faster, so we're gonna pop at the start of the stage here, carry it until about here so we can drop down and do fast movement. But immediately after this, ooh, awkward, the tank guys will just cut all your momentum. It sucks. And it's very easy to get owned by them. But after all this fast movement, we're gonna run into our friend, hi Kyle. I think that's his official name now. I think the dev decided that. Bye Kyle. The end of the stage, though, is just more pops. So, you know, if we have another message from our host, if you have about 20 seconds.
Sounds great. You're watching Speedromizer. It's a charity marathon with a twist. What you submit is not what you run. Accepted runners are randomly assigned a game from someone else, and they have 90 days to learn their respective games. That sounds like an awesome concept to you. Make sure you join our Discord at speedromizer.live/discord.
Yeah, hey, I mean, you could have been doing this run, and then you would have been able to have fun with Pepper Grinder. Of course, it's not too late. Come join the Pepper Grinder speedrunning Discord. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This is our next boss out of World 3. We're coming up on the end of the last world. Only 4 worlds in this game, thankfully. You know, short but sweet. This is the, what is it? Mint? Mint is her name, I think?
Yeah, Mint.
This is our kind of nemesis throughout the most of the game until the last world is revealed that there's a big, dark, scary secret, or whatever. Mint here is going to take us through her convoy of gnarlings here, and Boden's... Okay, flying away, sure, fair enough. This Mint fight is going to be you know, difficult-ish. Boden's the GOAT, so I'm sure he'll clutch up. But what we're going to do is, instead of drilling into the dirt, Boden is just going to stand above ground and try to rev his drill every time that Mint enters his drill's hitbox. So whenever you rev, it'll refresh the hurt box. You can't just keep revving your drill and getting damage over and over again. So you have to be pretty careful with your movement and positioning. If you take too much damage, you can really get thrown off cycle. Additionally, Mint will kind of change what she does based on certain HP gates, and, you know, as fast as I explained all of that, Boden's already done. I told you, goated. That was an absurdly clean Mint fight. Oh my god. Yeah, so Mint will kind of change her behavior based on HP gates, so if you miss a hit or are too slow on one, you end up, you know, having to adapt on the fly, but, you know, as I said, Boden is good at this game, so didn't have to do any of that. And now we're well into a world 4, the Swamp World, because every game needs one. More pretty water-centric stages in this world. This first one, Ice Melt Marsh, is pretty straightforward. We're going to do very shortly here a pop over the entirety of the middle of the stage. This is another pretty big skip, I think saves... Let me look at the pop-in versus the no pop-in record. Saves about just under 30 seconds. So pretty massive. You see a pirate ship underneath us that we're not going to touch. You know, they're spared. We do a lot of sparing, but we also, you know, feel like there are some enemies that we just aren't able to, unfortunately. So no pacifist run, but that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna collect a coin at the end here as well, and we should be at 9 coins here, because in our next stage we're gonna collect 1 more coin, and then from there we'll be doing the, or no, we have 10, never mind, I misread the thing before we went into Ice Melt Marsh. Yeah, so this is where we're going to dump our 10 coins that we've been collecting throughout the run into unlocking Witchfire Bog. This skips the second level of World 4, Sunken City Limits. And, you know, just for a comparison on the world records of these 2 stages, the any percent pop-in times for these levels respectively are a 142 for Sunken City Limits and a 54 for Witchfire Bog. So, you know, casually saving nearly a minute by just routing in a couple of coins, pretty easy. And, you know, it'll progress the story just like normal, which is a really convenient route to take. And all that for just 10 coins. Could be yours. Call now. Donate now, actually. Yeah, this stage is also really fun. It has these really kind of flowy sections. Like this part I really love. Just going through the end of this stage is really fun, especially with the global cycle of all the, you know, evil ghost enemies popping out of the lava and the slime goo that tries to slow you down but fails. I love that stage a lot. And then we get into the most boring stage of the run, unfortunately, because this is Terminal Depths, and Terminal Depths is, unfortunately, a big, kind of auto-scroller underneath us. There are sections where you get a gun and you just mow down gnarlings, but then there are sections where you're put on a train and you just have to, like, stand there as the train rides along the tracks and shoot all the enemies. Yeah, it's not particularly fun. It is much safer, barely slower, but much safer, to just pop at the very start and carry it through the entire level. So that's what we're gonna do. But hey, at least you get cool music. Tyler, if you have anything else you'd like to say, now's a perfect time. You have about 40 seconds.
Sounds great. Well, you mentioned donations, and this is a charity marathon, so we always want to encourage those. If you would like to donate to QMUNITY, the charity we are supporting, you can visit our Tiltify campaign at speedromizer.live/donate. You can also find the donation link below the stream and in the chat by typing !donate. All your donations are sent directly to QMUNITY, and when you're donating, don't forget to put your money towards an active challenge or poll. We have many active incentives going throughout the event, all of which you can view on the Tiltify page. Once again, that's speedromizer.live/donate.
Heck yeah. If you need an incentive, I'd pay $10 for our 10 skull coins to unlock our last level. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty easy $10 train. Very, very simple. Thankfully, we're at the end of Terminal Depths now. Sorry to all our train fans not being able to see the trains, but it's okay. This level's not that exciting either way. We're going into our last actual stage before our final boss, Deep Rot City. This is one of the longer ones and definitely one of the trickier ones. We're going to pop at the start here while falling down in order to carry the pop through this beginning section, take the cannon over, and launch over these buildings. And here, we're gonna try just damage boost through those thorns, and then Boden's gonna pop again in order to skip this platform cycle. You want to damage boost through these thorns again. Remember to turn down your volume, Boden.
Oops, I just...
Oh, that's a different language. Yeah,
okay.
so this big robot guy is loud and can't shut up. So we have to turn down the volume to spare you from it. This guy has a really interesting movement tech. You'll see that we can jump and use. I guess this is using in a way. He has a jump and a dash, and if you hold neutral on your control stick, hold dash and press jump over and over again, or vice versa, I forget. You're able to, we're going back to Korean, we're able to dash way faster than we'd be able to otherwise, and that allows us to get through that one robot section very cleanly. So, you know, that's nice. Not too much of the big robot guy. He's not the most fun movement in this game, but he's certainly interesting. Nice change of pace at the end here. And then we have pop through this big building. Who tells you you shouldn't fly indoors? Because, oh my god, this last area of this stage is awful, and it's even worse because of our friend here. Oh my god, what is that? Okay, it's off our screen. You can look back now. Thank you. Yeah, so the end of the stage is just a bunch of auto-scrollers and terrifying mini-boss. And we don't have to deal with any of that because poppin' is very useful. Yay. Now, get ready on time for our tech, because we're getting into Emperor Nero. This is our dark, secret, shadowy force behind the gnarling Emperor and, of course, our arch-nemesis Mint. He's been told of Pepper's conquering of the Seven Seas, I guess, as she comes back for her treasure that Nero and the gnarling stole. And it's time to, you know, have our final showdown against him. This guy is so cool. He is so sick. Unfortunately, his boss fight turns into a little bit of a yo-yo match, I guess, because what we're gonna do is pop on the sides of the arena, and then we're going to just spin around and try to hit his hitbox over and over again. Despite what it may look like, this fight is actually still pretty tricky. Being optimal with it is especially challenging because you have to be able to, you know, pogo in and out of his hitbox efficiently without taking too much damage. So it can have pretty precise positioning if you're going for a really good, solid time on it. Very clean fight for that first phase. Of course, we have our second phase. Time will be at the last hit of this final phase. I'll try to count us down and call it for us, but he's going to transform into this big shadowy guy as the you know, hardcore drum and bass takes on in the background. I'm not going to pop immediately here, I believe. We're going to try to eke out some damage from the dirt here, the bones. Sorry, my fault. And pop once he goes into a long attack animation, and then that'll allow us to, as he keeps attacking, we're able to just jump in and out of his hitbox really nice and simple. And that is our last hit. We're gonna get ready on time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Very nice. It was a really clean run, coming in at just over 28 minutes from what I see. Sheesh.
I was really surprised at how well that went, honestly.
I'm very thoroughly impressed. That was a very clean run. Felt like nothing really major went wrong. So, you know, congrats, dude. That was really sick.
Yeah. I'm glad I could play this here. Well, I had to jump in to be able to show this off, but I'm glad we still got to see it.
Yeah, this game's really fun. You know, I'll shout it out on Steam. You know, I always think indie games should be a little bit more successful. This game's only $15 on Steam. If you're looking for a cute little indie game that you can, I honestly think you could learn this game in a day. You know, come check out the run. We're glad to help. We don't have a, you know, super thorough tutorial, but on my channel I have a, you know, live streamed kind of bare bones tutorial. It's about 2 hours long, but goes through every stage and a lot of the micro movements that you may need. Do you have any shoutouts, Boden?
No, just all the guys in the speedrun Discord and Radg specifically, because that guy is the GOAT.
Yeah, Rad, is in chat. You know, he's really damn good at this game. If you want to come challenge him, I mean, I'm sure he would like the competition. Yeah, I mean, this game has a pretty small but fairly tight-knit community, and, you know, it's a really cool 2D platformer again, so if you are interested in those types of games, you should definitely come check it out. Go play this game, too. It's really fantastic. You know, great soundtrack, great visuals. The gameplay is awesome. You can see Boden has 46 hours in his playthrough file, and I'm sure plenty more in his speedrun files that he's deleted, so... You know, lots of replayability. There are built-in speedrun time trials too. There are all sorts of things that you can do in this game that are, well, just keep you grabbed on it. It really is a very fun game, and we have much more than just any percent.
Well, that is awesome to hear. Thank you again, Boden, for the run. Pepper Grinder looked amazing, and I look forward to seeing some more runs by both of you in the future. You are currently watching Speedomizer 6, and we are unfortunately coming to the end of day 2.